What if I told you that the very exercises you believe are keeping your heart strong might actually be putting it in danger? That pushing through just one more rep or one more lap could be quietly breaking down the very organ you're trying to protect. If you're over 60, every movement matters. And sometimes it's not what you do, but how and when you do it that makes all the difference between strength and silent strain. I've seen it too many times, seniors walking into my clinic feeling fine, only to discover elevated blood pressure, irregular rhythms, or fatigue they thought was just part of aging. It's not age. It's misalignment. In this video, I'll walk you through 5 common exercise habits that could be weakening your heart without you knowing. More importantly, I'll show you how to replace them with safer, smarter routines that work with your body, not against it. If you've ever felt unexpectedly exhausted after a workout or dizzy from a walk, leave a comment below. I want to hear your experience. And if this topic matters to you, please like and subscribe so you never miss a message that could change your health and your life. 1. High-intensity interval training. High-intensity interval training, or HIIT, has become a buzzword in fitness. You've probably seen videos promising to burn fat fast or reverse aging with just a few minutes a day. And it's tempting, especially if you want to stay active, feel young, and keep up with the world around you. But here's the truth most people don't talk about. If you're over 60, your heart no longer responds the way it did in your 30s or 40s. What once felt energizing can now be overwhelming. The sudden spikes in exertion, the breathless pushes, the fast-paced repetition, these aren't just tiring. They're potentially dangerous. I've seen seniors walk into their first HIIT class full of hope. They leave red-faced, heart-pounding, dizzy, and wondering if maybe they're just out of shape. But that's not what's really happening. The heart, especially an aging heart, doesn't bounce back the same way. It takes longer to recover. It struggles more with extremes. When you force your body into intense intervals, you're asking your heart to sprint, then stop, then sprint again. For many people over 60, this pattern increases blood pressure rapidly and disrupts the natural rhythm of the heart. That can trigger arrhythmias, spikes in stress hormones, and in some cases, emergency room visits that no one saw coming. It doesn't always happen right away. That's what makes it so tricky. You might just feel a little more tired than usual. Maybe you need a nap later or feel your chest flutter when you're lying in bed. It's subtle at first, but over time these small signs add up, and they often get ignored until it's too late. The real heartbreak is this. Most seniors who do HIIT aren't being reckless. They're being disciplined. They're following advice. They're doing it because they care. They want to live longer, stay independent, keep their energy up. But their bodies are asking for a different kind of care. Not less care. Just smarter care. Your heart doesn't need you to prove anything. It needs you to protect it. That doesn't mean you should stop moving. It means you should move with respect for where your body is today. Gentle walking. Slow, steady swimming. Tai Chi with breath and rhythm. These aren't weak alternatives. They're wise ones. They reduce pressure while improving circulation. They keep your joints fluid, your balance sharp, and your heart safe. There is no shame in choosing the slower lane. Because in this lane you actually go farther. You don't burn out, you build, you heal, you gain energy instead of losing it. I've worked with patients in their late 60s, 70s, and even 80s who started walking just 10 minutes a day. Within weeks, their blood pressure dropped, their mood lifted, they slept better, and they didn't fear their workouts anymore. They looked forward to them. That's what movement should do. It should make you feel alive, not afraid. It should build your confidence, not raise your risks. If you've been pushing yourself in ways that leave you drained instead of strong, it's time to reconsider. Not because you're weak, but because you deserve better. You've already made it this far in life. That means your body is wise. It's been through a lot. Now, more than ever, it needs partnership, not punishment. So let HIIT go. Let the pressure go. Choose steadiness. Choose breath. Choose strength that lasts. Your heart will thank you not in words, but in years. 2. Core crunches and heavy lifting. So let's talk about something many people over 60 do with the best of intentions: core exercises and lifting weights. You've probably heard that building strength is key to staying independent, and that's true. But how you build that strength matters more than most people realize. At your age, crunches and heavy lifting can come with risks that aren't obvious at first. You don't feel it while you're doing the rep. You feel it later when your chest feels tight, your breath is short, or your heart skips a beat without warning. The problem isn't the exercise itself, it's the pressure it puts on your body from the inside out. When you bear down to lift something heavy or tense up to power through a crunch, your internal pressure spikes. Blood pushes harder through your veins. Your heart suddenly works overtime, even if you don't notice it. And if your arteries are already stiff or narrowed by age, that pressure has nowhere safe to go. I've treated patients who fainted during a set of crunches. Others who walked out of the gym dizzy, only to end up in the ER later that night. Not because they were careless, but because they didn't know their heart couldn't keep up. Your core is important, yes. A strong midsection helps with balance, posture, and movement. But strength isn't just about muscle. It's about how safely your body can support that muscle. If the cost of building strength is putting your heart at risk, then it's not real strength, it's strain. So how do you build a strong core without compromising your health? You slow down. You shift the focus. You use resistance bands instead of weights. You breathe through each movement instead of holding your breath. You choose exercises that support, not shock, your system. One of the most powerful things you can do is engage your core gently. Think about controlled movements that tighten your abdomen while keeping your spine relaxed. Even something as simple as seated knee lifts or side bends can activate your core without spiking your blood pressure. I've seen people in their 70s gain better core control from 5 minutes a day of guided movements than from years of crunches. Because it's not about the size of the motion. It's about consistency. And it's about listening to your body before it cries out. Heavy weights are not the badge of honor they once were. At this stage in life, the real badge is knowing when less is more. Knowing that steady resistance can be just as powerful as lifting something heavy off the ground. And let's be honest. A single wrong move, one moment of tension in the wrong place, can change everything. A pulled muscle, a spike in blood pressure, a fall from being lightheaded. None of these are worth a few extra reps. I say this not to scare you but to protect you. You've worked hard to get where you are. You've overcome more than most people will ever know. Now your job is not to prove how strong you are. It's to make sure you stay strong in a way that lasts. That means trading heavy lifts for smarter resistance. Swapping sit-ups for stretches that stabilize. Choosing breathing over brute force. It's not weakness, it's wisdom. And the beauty of this approach, you'll likely feel better after your workout, not worse. You'll have more energy to enjoy your day, less soreness, more confidence that your heart is being cared for, not pushed to its edge. So the next time you pick up a dumbbell or think about dropping to the floor for crunches, pause. Ask yourself if there's a kinder, safer way to move. Because your heart has done enough heavy lifting in this life. Now it needs your support, not your strain. 3. Exercising in extreme temperatures. For many people over 60, a morning walk feels like the perfect way to start the day. The air is crisp, the neighborhood is quiet, and it gives a sense of routine and purpose. But what most don't realize is that the weather outside isn't just a background detail. It can be a silent force that challenges your heart in ways you might never expect. Cold air may feel refreshing, but it causes your blood vessels to narrow. This forces your heart to pump harder to keep blood moving, even if you're only walking slowly. For someone with high blood pressure or aging arteries, this added strain can trigger shortness of breath, chest discomfort, or dangerous spikes in pressure without much warning. Now consider summer. The heat may loosen your muscles, but it places another kind of burden on your body. In extreme heat, your heart must beat faster to cool you down. You start sweating more, losing water and electrolytes. Dehydration can happen quickly, especially for older adults. And with it comes fatigue, dizziness, and an increased risk of heart rhythm issues. I've seen it firsthand. Seniors who felt fine at home suddenly collapse after a short walk outside. Others return feeling weak and confused, unsure why a simple stroll left them drained for hours. They didn't overexert. They didn't skip their meds. They simply underestimated how much the weather could affect them. The problem is we often assume movement is always good no matter what. We tell ourselves that exercise is the answer to everything. But timing and environment matter. If the air is too cold or the sun is too strong, your body shifts from building strength to fighting for balance. And your heart is the one doing most of the work. But this doesn't mean you should stop walking or moving. It just means you need to choose the right conditions. Indoors, where the temperature is stable, your heart can focus on steady rhythm, not survival. Early morning or late afternoon walks can be safe if the weather is mild. And staying hydrated before, during, and after movement is more important than ever. Dress in light, breathable clothing in the summer and wear layers in the winter. Protect your chest and neck from cold wind. Listen to your breathing. If your heart feels like it's racing or you feel unusually tired, that's not just age. That's your body signaling a need to slow down and adjust. The goal is never to stop moving. The goal is to move wisely. Your heart doesn't need to be tested. It needs to be supported. And weather is one of the most overlooked stressors it faces. I often tell my patients this: just because the weather feels fine to your skin doesn't mean it's safe for your heart. Your body's ability to regulate temperature fades with age. What feels manageable today could push your limits tomorrow. That's not weakness. That's a natural shift. And being aware of it is your power. So check the forecast before you step outside. Notice how your body responds in different seasons. And most importantly, give yourself permission to adapt. There's strength in knowing your limits. There's courage in choosing safety over routine. You've worked hard to protect your health. Don't let the temperature undo that progress. Move where you're comfortable. Move when it's safe. And always move with your heart in mind. 4. Jumping rapid direction changes. There's something energizing about fast movement. A quick jump, a sudden twist, or keeping up with a group workout class can feel like you're fighting back against time. For many older adults, these types of movements feel like a way to stay young, to stay in control. But underneath the surface, your body is telling a different story. Movements that once felt natural can now challenge your balance, your coordination, and your heart more than you realize. And the danger isn't in how they look, it's in how your body responds to them. As we age, our nervous system becomes slower to react. Our sense of balance isn't as sharp. Our muscles don't recover as quickly from shock. When you jump or turn suddenly, your body scrambles to keep up. Blood pressure can shift. Your heart can skip or race. Your feet may not land where they should. This isn't about being fragile. It's about being honest with the way your body has changed. I've met seniors who felt fine until one moment during a group class. They stepped wrong, twisted fast, or landed hard. A fall followed. A dizzy spell. Sometimes even a trip to the hospital. And it wasn't because they were out of shape. It was because they were doing movements that no longer served their body's needs. Quick direction changes, bouncing lunges, or stair sprints, all of these create tiny moments of chaos inside your system. They demand precision. But aging bodies need stability more than speed. You don't need to prove your strength through intensity. You prove it through control, through choosing exercises that respect your body's wisdom. That may mean skipping the burpees or the jumping jacks. It might mean leaving the fast-paced aerobics to others. But what you gain in return is far more valuable: safety, strength, and longevity. There are better ways to move. Water aerobics, for example, allow your joints to glide without pressure while building strength. Tai Chi teaches balance, flow, and coordination in ways that actually protect the nervous system rather than overwhelm it. Even chair-based routines can activate your whole body without ever throwing it off balance. These slower movements don't just reduce risk, they help retrain your body. They reinforce core stability. They teach the brain how to stay calm, how to react gently instead of suddenly. That's what prevents falls. That's what strengthens your confidence over time. I often remind people that movement should feel like support, not a struggle. If you find yourself bracing before a jump or clenching during a twist, your body is already telling you it's too much. The goal isn't to stop moving. The goal is to move in ways that give more than they take. You're not falling behind by slowing down. You're staying ahead by protecting your future. Every safe step you take today helps ensure you can keep stepping tomorrow. That's not giving up. That's growing wiser. So when you see that fast-moving workout online, or feel pressure to keep up in a group setting, take a pause. Ask yourself what your body really needs. Not what looks impressive, but what feels supportive. Because when you choose what honors your body, you're choosing the kind of strength that actually lasts. 5. Exercising late at night. For many older adults, evenings feel like the perfect time to move. The day has quieted down, there's less to do, and finally, there's a window for some personal time. A walk after dinner or a few stretches before bed seems harmless, even healthy. But exercising late at night carries risks that most people over 60 don't realize. It's not the movement itself. It's the timing and how it affects the systems in your body that are preparing to slow down and heal. As we age, our sleep becomes lighter, more fragile. The body's natural clock, known as its rhythm, gets more sensitive. When you raise your heart rate, stimulate your nervous system, or increase your core temperature too close to bedtime, your body gets confused. It thinks it's time to stay alert, not to rest. I've worked with patients who thought a short evening workout was a smart habit, but they struggled to fall asleep. They woke up tired. Their blood pressure stayed high into the night, and they didn't connect it to the late night movement. It doesn't take a high-intensity workout to disrupt your sleep. Even a brisk walk or light cardio can have lasting effects when it's done after dark. Your adrenaline stays elevated. Your breathing pattern changes. Your body stays too alert to enter deep healing rest. And that rest matters. Sleep is when your heart repairs. It's when your blood pressure resets. When your mind clears, your hormones rebalance, and your energy is restored. Skipping that deep rest, or cutting it short, doesn't just make you groggy the next day. It wears down your resilience over time. The relationship between sleep and heart health is strong. Poor sleep increases the risk of hypertension, arrhythmias, and even blood sugar issues. If your heart is already working harder with age, it needs every opportunity to recover, especially at night. This doesn't mean you shouldn't exercise. It means choosing the right time. Morning and early afternoon are your best windows. Your energy is higher, your body is more responsive, and your heart benefits without interfering with recovery later on. If evenings are your only available time, consider making the movement extremely gentle. Light stretching, deep breathing, or guided relaxation are excellent options. These support your circulation without pushing your system into alert mode. Think of nighttime as a time for slowing down, for sending signals to your body that it's safe to let go, to heal, to rest. That's where strength is rebuilt. That's where long-term health finds its foundation. Many seniors feel proud of their discipline. They want to stay active, committed, engaged. That's admirable. But when discipline disrupts sleep, it turns into a hidden risk. Your effort should serve your health, not silently challenge it. So if you've been working out late and wondering why you feel wired before bed or sluggish in the morning, this might be the reason. Try shifting your routine earlier. Notice how your sleep responds. You might be surprised by how much better you feel with just this one change. Your heart has a rhythm. Let your daily routine match it. Give your body the respect it's earned by supporting its natural cycles. That's not being passive. That's being wise. You've already learned how to push through when needed. Now is the time to learn when to pause. Because a rested heart is a stronger heart, and a good night's sleep is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself. Let's pause for a moment and ask a deeper question. Why do so many people over 60 push themselves into routines that no longer serve them? The answer often has little to do with fitness. It has everything to do with identity. For decades you've been told that movement means strength, that slowing down means giving up. You've seen ads, classes, books all telling you to keep going, stay active, fight aging. So naturally, when your body starts whispering for gentler care, it feels like a failure to listen. But it's not failure. It's wisdom. The world rarely teaches us how to age with grace. It teaches us to resist aging at all costs, to compete, to push, to keep up. But what if true power at this stage isn't about pushing harder? What if it's about protecting what matters most? You don't need to prove your strength through speed, weight, or exhaustion. You prove it by how well you listen, by how willing you are to let go of what no longer fits. That's not weakness. That's maturity. It's easy to believe that exercise should leave you sore, sweaty, and spent. But movement can be nourishing. It can calm your nerves. It can bring balance. It can help your heart feel safe. So maybe the question isn't how hard can I go? Maybe it's how well can I live? And how can I make sure the choices I make today give me more time, more clarity, more connection in the years ahead? If you've ever felt unsure, or even ashamed for needing to slow down, I want you to know you're not alone. The shift you're feeling is real. And it deserves respect, not resistance. Your heart is not asking you to stop. It's asking you to move differently, more gently, more consistently, more in tune with the person you've become. Because aging is not about losing who you were. It's about honoring who you are now. And that, more than anything, is worth protecting. You've just learned 5 common exercise habits that could quietly harm your heart after 60. These weren't shared to scare you, but to protect the years and strength you've worked so hard to earn. Your heart doesn't need to be challenged with extremes. It needs steady support, thoughtful movement, and the wisdom to know when less truly is more. So if any part of today's video made you pause or reflect, I invite you to take action. Even one small change in how or when you move can make a lasting difference. I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever felt lightheaded, unusually tired, or unsure if a workout was helping or hurting? Share your story in the comments below so others can learn from your experience. And if this message spoke to you, like this video and subscribe to the channel. Together we'll keep exploring ways to stay strong, safe, and deeply alive at every age.